Somerdale, the famous address of Somerdale. Mom and him buy a house. Okay? That is around 1970, and he's about 28 years old. And mom lives there for a while. He starts a company called PDM Contracting, Painting, Maintenance, Decorating. Painting, Decorating, Maintenance, PDM. And he's living with his mom. Okay? But he gets married a second time. And he marries another young lady. Again, she's not too bad. She's cute. GACY's doing pretty well. Okay? He marries a second woman. She has 2 daughters. So they move in. Mom moves out. They move in. And he has a great lifestyle with her. He's out partying. He hosts parties and theme parties and dress-ups. And John Wayne Gacy is the life of the party. Things are going well for GACY. He's involved in politics. This is his business card. He was a Democratic precinct captain in his area. He's the big man on campus. Okay? He's so popular, he meets the mayor of Chicago daily, and he also meets the president's wife, the first lady, Rosalind Carter. He's doing well. Okay? But the problem is he starts having some issues. He starts having people coming forward, young men saying they're being sexually assaulted by John Wayne Gacy. And so he had started this PDM. This is his business card. And that was a great business for GACY. This is his company vehicle. Maybe you've never seen this before. He had a truck with the logo on it. I thought that was interesting. And he even had custom vanity plates. So there you go. Let's see, PDM 42. He was born in 42, so it's PDM, his company, and his birth age. So he starts having these young boys come forward. You know, hey, John Wayne Gacy molested me, or, you know, these things are happening. He's having problems. He's using PDM Contracting as a way to lure boys in to work for him to sexually assault. And so at the age of 29, he's charged with sexually assaulting a young boy. This is in 1971. It gets thrown out. The boy failed to appear to court. He's arrested again in 1971. He used a sheriff badge to lure a kid in his car, forced him for oral sex. The victim tried to blackmail Gacy, and it got thrown out of court again. So you see how Gacy's dodging all these arrests. He should never be out of prison. He's out in 18 months. He's beating all these cases, luckily for him. And it's leading him darker and deeper and darker into some darker waters for Gacy. Now, 1972, he begins his murder spree that lasts for 6 years. He will kill 33 young men and boys, and he will make history and be one of the deadliest serial killers in American history. 33 killings is a very high number. As far as confirmed murders, the highest confirmed is around 48, the Green River Killer. If you count Sam Little, maybe 50, but I think a lot of people have killed 100. But, Ted Bundy's probably killed 100, and there's others. But 33 is a high number. At the time, it was the highest number ever for a serial killer. So his MO is he gets a young person drunk, a young boy drunk, young man drunk. He produces a pair of handcuffs, and he shows the young boy a magic trick. He escapes the handcuffs because he has the key. He puts them on the young boy. He can't get out. And then he puts a rope around his neck called the rope trick. And he sticks a handle or hammer or something and twists it. And he makes a garrote and strangles a young boy. Now, there's been things that have been said about him. Sometimes he read Bible verses as he's killing them. Before they're dead, he is sodomizing them with the dildo, sex toys. He would actually stick pill bottles up into their anuses. He would actually also have sex with them after they're dead. He was a necrophiliac. He would get on top of them and ride them like a horse as he's strangling them. He would burn them with cigars. He was a bad guy. Sodomized them, of course. And he would secure their legs. He had learned from the case, the Houston mass murders down in Houston. The Candyman, Dean Corll. He learned about the torture plywood. He had a board with handcuffs. He would secure their legs, and they were handcuffed. Their arms were handcuffed. Occasionally he would stab someone, but mostly strangulation. He would smother them and usually strangle them with the garrote, a rope around their neck. Sometimes he would say this is the last trick, and it was their last moment of their life. He would then stuff underwear or rags into their mouths, because sometimes he would keep them overnight under his bed or in the closet, and they would leak fluid out their mouth. So he started sticking rags and stuff into their mouth and their body cavities so they didn't leak fluid. He would place them in the crawl space. He placed 26 victims in the crawl space. People think there were 33 bodies in his crawl space. There was only 26. 3 victims were in the garage. That's 29. And 4 were dumped into Des Plaines River. 1972, he murders his first victim, Timothy McCoy. He's a 16-year-old boy. He stabs him. The first one he stabbed to death. He claims he was sleeping and he was standing at the door with the knife, and he thought he was going to stab him, so he took the knife and stabbed him to death. And here he was making breakfast for him. He wasn't going to stab him. I don't really believe that story. That sounds like a typical killer story, but anyways, he stabbed the first victim to death. Probably did do that and thought that was way too messy. And a lot of serial killers tell me they prefer strangulation. It's less messy. So he's going full-time now in 1973. He's age 31. He gets his PDM going full-time, continues to murder victims all through the 72, 73, 74, 75. He's making a lot of money with PDM, at least $200,000 a year. Then he decides in 1975, now this is later in his life. I mean, he's 33 years old. He joins a clown club, okay? The Chicago Clown Association, and he registers as Pogo the Clown. He had 2 clown personalities. Pogo the Clown was fun. He was the happy clown. He'd make people laugh, do magic tricks or whatever. He was also a second clown called Patches the Clown. And according to him, Patches the Clown was more serious. He would appear at events. Here he is at an event. John Wayne Gacy at a clown event with some people there. Sorry, it's hard to see this. There we go. He had fans of his clown personalities. They would pose for pictures. He's in politics. He's got a very successful business. He's a clown. He's a member of all these organizations. He's meeting the president's wife. He is, on the surface, doing very well as he's committing heinous, torturous murders. All right? Heinous, torturous killings. And the thing that fascinates me about this case, and this will always be the most fascinating case in my life, how do you get away with this? How do 33 boys disappear and nobody knows? How do the neighbors not see all these young boys at your house? It just doesn't make sense to me. I just can't believe he got away with this. In 1975, he's 33 years old. About the time he joins the clown group, he tells his wife he's bisexual. He has sex with her on Mother's Day. Yeah, sex on Mother's Day. And he tells her this will be the last time we have sex. So, of course, she divorces him. She divorces him at the age of 33, and she leaves with her kids and moves out. And this gives Gacy, in 1975, unlimited access to this house to do whatever he wants to do. I mean, he was doing this when he was married and had kids in the house. Can you imagine now? Nobody's in the house. Sometimes he has people that he works with, PDM. They're sleeping they're living with him. But in 1975, Anthony Antonucci is his name. He was a wrestler and he worked for Gacy. And Gacy tried to cuff him, and he got one of the cuffs out, hit his hand behind his back, and he was able to wrestle, take Gacy down, and cuff him. And Gacy said, "Not only did you get out of the cuffs, but you're the only ones that ever cuffed me." So he continued to work for Gacy, which is weird. But he escaped with his life. 1976, at the age of 34, Gacy's divorce is finalized, and he is done. It is over for him. So now, at his home, Summerdale, with nobody in the home, he really steps it up, and he goes on a massive killing spree. At the age of 34, 35, 36, 1976, 1977, 1978, he kills a bunch of young men. And it's one after another. And very little suspicion. He picks up young men at the bus station. He picks up runaways. He just finds he's very good at finding victims who what we call less dead victims, like they won't be missed, right? As long as he doesn't mess with anybody that will be missed, he has a good chance of getting away with this. And that's what he did for many years. A couple mistakes he made. He killed a young man, one of his later victims. His name is John. His last name is SZYC. I'll say it's John Sick. And they had found John's ring in GACY's house. So that was one of the things that tied him to these murders, right? So as they searched his house, they found this ring of a young man that had been missing for a year. And I think he dumped him in the river, if I'm not mistaken. His big undoing, though, was a young boy named Rob Peast. This is where everything just came apart. He met this young man at the Nissan pharmacy. He was doing some work there or talking to somebody about work or jobs, and he saw this young boy named Rob Peast. This is December 11th of 1978. He meets him, tells him he has a job for him. He can make more money than he's making at the pharmacy. Rob Peast, like any other young boy, probably says, "That's great. I'd love to make more money." GACY claims that Peast wept, cried, and wept as he strangled him. Nice young man. He said he admitted to receiving a phone call from a business contact while Peast lay dying, suffocating on the bedroom floor. That got GACY arrested because Rob Peast was missed. He had family, and he was connected to him at that pharmacy. So it was a very easy case. The police were on to him. They searched his house, found the ring. They kind of knew December 13th, December 21st. They were tailing him. They were following him. They were watching him. You've heard that story. GACY's got people tailing him every time he leaves. He's so brash. He takes him out and buys him drinks, buys him lunch, buys him dinner, invites him in the house for a drink, and that'll be his undoing, right? So finally, they have enough evidence and they arrest John Wayne GACY. But before he got arrested, he knew he was going to be arrested. He had told one of the cops, clowns can get away with murder.